If it wasn't for sports betting, what would you be doing tonight? Certainly wouldn't be watching the Patriots and the Jets. Hey, Dave Lockman here. We got Thursday Night Football. You heard it right there before the intro. We can bet on these games, and we love to bet on sports, particularly football, which means we actually will have something fun to watch tonight. I don't know, fun in the traditional sense, but fun in the sense that we've got football. Patriots at home laying 13.5 points against the Jets, who are riding a 2-game win streak, I may add. I got some picks for you. I got a side. Yes, I do. Already posted the tails. I got a prop. There's no big super boost right now, but there will be throughout the day, so I'll make sure to hit them later over on tails as well. And, of course, the FanDuel jackpot, $2 million jackpot. Yeah, a lot of fun trying to pick touchdowns from this game. Let's get straight into it. Of course, if you guys love this content, maybe it's helped you along the way. Look, we're going to have some bad weeks. We're going to have some great weeks, and that's the mix of betting that you get in the NFL. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you really want to help out, that hype button down there. I'm told that it helps get this out to a wider audience. So, hit that hype button, and let's get into it. Patriots are 13.5-point favorites. Now, this is a crazy game, right? Because they're the far superior team. There's no denying that. We all know the Patriots are a much better team, okay? Yeah, they're atop the AFC East. This was a team that was, the Buffalo Bills were supposed to run away with this division, and that certainly hasn't been the case. I like this Pats team. I like the Bucs last week against the Patriots. I know a lot of people did, as a matter of fact, and they went in there and handled business in Tampa Bay. Patriots did. They're just good. And that was without Ramondre Stevenson. He'll be out again today. Without Kayshon Boutte, without Christian Ellis. I'm not saying that's a huge deal, but I try and give you guys all the information I can so you can make informed decisions on your own, whether you agree or disagree with me. And I think you're going to disagree with this one tonight. There isn't a ton to be said about the Jets and how they can keep this game competitive, right? Outside of the fact that it's a divisional game on a short week. And I'm going to tell you something wild. I'll even throw it on the screen so you can see each game because I tweeted this one earlier. Divisional dogs on Thursday Night Football this year are 6-1 against the spread, with 3 of them just winning outright, okay? The Giants smoked the Eagles. The Bengals as 5.5-point dogs ended up winning against the Steelers. The Broncos almost sold that game against the Raiders last week in one of the ugliest games that we've seen in a very long time. And the San Francisco 49ers, the beleaguered, injury-riddled 49ers earlier in the season, took that game in LA in overtime against the Rams. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get an outright win from the Jets here. Okay, I get that. Hell, it's possible that Tyrod Taylor might be the starter here, which might be an upgrade over Fields. I don't think he will be, though. You're playing, 3 days rest? I can't imagine that Aaron Glenn would make that call, even though he continues to not say who he's starting at quarterback until shortly before the game starts. You have no Garrett Wilson. He's out again after re-injuring that knee. Sauce Gardner's in Indy. Quinnen Williams is in Dallas. Michael Carter's in Philly. Things look bleak in New York right now. There's no denying that, and I certainly wouldn't blame you for laying the points on the Patriots. As always, I ask you guys, let me know where you're going with this game, not just on the side, but in the props, and hit me up in the comments and let me know, because it's fun to get a little discussion going here. I'm just doing a video, but everyone can have an opinion as well. It looks bad, but 13.5 points is just a big number, man, for a Thursday night football game, divisional opponents. The backdoor cover is always real here. It could be a 20-point game, and what happens? You end up getting a late touchdown that means nothing, and you lose by 13. It's a big number. Like I said, no Ramondre Stevenson, no Kayshon Boutte, who has been their primary and best deep threat, as a matter of fact, this season. Maybe that doesn't mean much to you. It didn't mean much last week in a much tougher spot as road dogs against the Bucs. But I'm taking the Jets here, and I've got to do it at plus 13.5. Look, if you can get that plus 13.5, there are still numbers out there. There's one on ESPN at minus 110. FanDuel has a good number on plus 13.5. You're getting it outside of 13. I really considered taking the Patriots, but once I saw this balloon through 13, another very key number, it was just kind of an instinctual, reflexive decision where you don't have much of a choice. I know a lot of people don't like this. People love to bet the big favorites. That hasn't worked on Thursday Night Football this year. It really hasn't. Outside of the Baltimore Ravens, it's been tough to get those big, heavy favorites wins on Thursday night on these short games, short weeks. All right, now let's get to a little prop here. Not a ton right now. I'm going to post an all unders same game parlay over on Tails later in the day. So make sure you're following me over there. Download the Tails app. Link is in the description, or just go to tails.bet. Click follow. My picks are free all season long. It's been a very nice NFL season outside of last Sunday, but that would mean the best time to jump in for you since Sunday was our first bad day in a while. But all my picks are free. All the ladder plays, all the sides, all the props, all the same game parlays, the parlays itself, you name it, free all season long. Just hit me with a follow at Loughy, Loughy. Turn on notifications. Check the leaderboards for other great people to follow as well. We're building something great over there. You're going to want to be a part of it, and you don't have to even put your credit card in, nothing like that. You just come over and find free bets. Think of Twitter, except without all the mess and nonsense and stuff you don't want to interact with. Straight sports betting picks, free all day long for every sport you can imagine over on Tails. So download that app in the link in the description, and we'll see you over there. But I do like one spot, Mason Taylor over 32.5 receiving yards. Look, the Patriots, if there's been one spot they've struggled this year, is against the tight ends, middle of the field type stuff. Fifth most targets, fifth most receptions, fifth most yards allowed to tight ends on the season. And the Jets are actually facing a competent offense today, which means even if they don't want to, they're going to have to throw the ball. I don't care how inefficient or even ineffective at times Justin Fields or maybe Tyrod Taylor is. They're going to have to throw the football more than they did last week against the Browns, where they had 2 special teams touchdowns. And you had Mason Taylor lead the Jets with 13 total targets in 2 games that Garrett Wilson missed earlier this season. I think this is a pretty decent spot, to be honest with you, especially if they end up playing from behind. And finally, the FanDuel $2 million jackpot. Yeah, all right. So the FanDuel $2 million jackpot, it's a really ugly and horrible week to do it. I'm not going to lie. It kind of sucks. Like, oh, great. We have to go into this game, figure out who's going to be the first or last or both touchdown scorer. Because the reason is you could go with Trevion Henderson, sure, but he's minus 180. Everyone's going to go there. People are going to go to Stephon Diggs. I wanted to go Hunter Henry, but you're getting him at plus 140. Like, you still have to bet these in order to get, in order to take advantage of the promo. I don't love the idea of getting Hunter Henry at plus 140 when he's plus 155, plus 160 at other books. So I'm already trying to find the best odds available to me. I think Demario Douglas at plus 370 is the answer. Nobody's going to want to bet this guy to score a touchdown, but he is actually, in fact, grouped with guys like Diggs and Hunter Henry in red zone targets. He's not far behind them this season, which is super helpful. You could see an instance where like Kyle Williams only had 2 targets last week, but a long touchdown. Drake May is great on deep balls as well. That's not necessarily Demario Douglas's forte, but he's been targeted downfield at times this year as well. I think at plus 370, you're already getting the best number on FanDuel. But now you're also put in a position where, while he's not playing a ton of snaps, his targets per route run isn't that bad. Kayshon Boutte's out. And it's not like Kyle Williams is going to be, or is Mac Hollins going to see another 10 targets today? I think people will love to go to Mac Hollins. They're going to love to go to Henderson. And when one of those wins, they're just going to end up chopping this jackpot so many different ways that it's not really noticeable enough. I do this in the sense, and let me know down below. If you guys are like, you know what, I'm fine splitting it with a lot of people. Any money is good money. I respect that. For me, I'd much rather put myself in a spot where if I do win, hardly anybody else is going there. And the truth is, most likely we're not going to win these. But if we do, it's going to be a nice little windfall coming into our FanDuel account. So, of course, I'm going to go Demario Douglas here. I think it's a decent enough spot at plus 370. And, of course, if you guys aren't on Bet365 yet, I tell you all the time, that is where we place most of our parlays. They'll probably release another boost today. We do it every Monday. We do it every Friday. If you're not there yet, make sure to get in with that link in the description. $200 in bonus bets. All you have to do is deposit 10 and bet $5, and you are in. 21 years or older to gamble. Gambling problem, caller text 1-800-GAMBLER. Of course, you ever guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below or hit me up on Twitter at Loughy, Loughy, and I will see you guys back here for the next one. Bye-bye.